Your creative energy is infinite. August 4, 2014. As you lighten and refine your vibration, you sharpen your ability to pick up on the energies and impressions of the higher realms. This ability has already grown strong for many of you who are making potent efforts to hone it, and as you continue your attempts to disappear into the sacred center and produce a wealth of spiritually inspired material as a result, your abilities will grow and grow with each attempt you make. We've mentioned the importance of practice plenty of times in the past, and with practice, you can hone just about any ability. We've also mentioned before that you're capable of anything you're willing to believe you're capable of, but this doesn't mean you can pick up any ability and suddenly find that you're great at it. A lot of hard work and dedication are required to hone any ability, and this includes channeling, but as long as you're willing to work hard and show the necessary incentive, you can sharpen any ability that you currently perceive as impossible to hone. Embrace your abilities. If there's any particular skill or ability you want to embrace it. You don't gain anything by stopping yourselves from acting on your potential, and eventually, you will adopt the skills that resonate with you. You'll find in the higher realms that your abilities are as limitless as your perception, and those of you who haven't already taken up the practices you enjoy will feel more compelled than ever to do so. Given that you'll eventually do the things you want to do anyway, you might as well start them now if you're willing to commit to them. Many of you will find in the higher realms that your interest is drawn in 1,000 different directions. You're led to thousands of different creative pursuits, each of which you'll have plenty of time and energy for. While some choose to rest often in the higher dimensions, the overwhelming majority of us constantly occupy ourselves with tasks and creative practices that help us, and plenty of other souls find a higher vibration. Even though you run the risk of temporarily burning yourselves out by assigning yourselves to too many different skills and abilities in the lower realms, if you can find a few abilities that resonate with you, you're wholeheartedly encouraged to see how far you can take them. You'll find if you're committed to each practice that somehow, you're able to make time and energy for all of them. It all comes down to how committed you choose to be, and your commitment will be displayed by the amount of time and energy you choose to devote to any given practice. You can confront any unwillingness to complete certain creative ventures by asking yourselves how much time and energy you're willing to spend practicing them, and many of you will find that in some areas, your productivity could be increased a lot, while in others, you're doing more than enough. Those of you who are interested in channeling, for example, will eventually find that you can channel all day if you want. If you took small breaks and allowed yourselves some time throughout the day to rest and relax, you could channel communication after communication from the higher realms. Connecting with the higher realms is an instantaneous process, and if you find that this ability flows very gracefully, you're encouraged to practice it as much and as often as possible. The smooth flow of energy and information feels great for the souls who continuously access it, and if our scribes wanted to, they could ceaselessly communicate with us and produce far more messages than they currently do. Of course, in the case of those who channel their higher selves and guides, their guides need time to focus on various other aspects of your earthly ascension, but those among you who are the most dedicated to channeling could perhaps swap your higher selves out for a rotating set of guides, who will themselves be swapped out for other guides so they can continue with other tasks they're assigned to. Your creative energy is infinite, and you can do and be literally anything you can conceive. Even though it won't happen at the drop of a hat, your commitment and dedication will produce a very smooth flow of results if you allow it. Many of you, like our scribe, are immersed in a few different creative ventures throughout the day, and you're encouraged to devote an equal amount of time and energy to each of them if you want to hone or sharpen them. Many of you are finding that others respond well to certain abilities you express, such as the ability to write or channel, and when you seem to find the ability or abilities that work best for you and that others enjoy the most, pursuing them is the best thing you can do. Suppressed history. Of course, you can choose the lazier route, simply existing without seeking to contribute anything of value to your planet's restoration and evolution, But if you knew how important the time you're in really is and how valuable of a role you can play in it, we imagine many of you would become far more active than you already are. We speak for those who are already very busy as well as those who aren't, and we can envision humanity's motivation rising drastically when a few important and sacred revelations are learned. You have a lot to learn, a lot you haven't been told, and much of your history has been suppressed to benefit the people in positions of power who've suppressed it. The cabal has done a lot in your current day to suppress your history, but this suppression has been going on for centuries of your time on the part of various groups and interests who, knowingly and unknowingly, served the lower astral forces who want to keep humanity in the dark about your true history and various other important truths. One of the reasons we recommend finding the abilities you enjoy the most and honing them is because you can use them to do good on your planet. You can radiate the light you carry within to affect various places, especially places that are deeply rooted in tension and conflict, but beyond sending your light to areas that need it, you can funnel it through a creative template and use it to help others become aware of spirit, or simply find a good vibration where they might have only found coldness before. We encourage every incarnate light worker and starseed to be as active as you can, sending your light to various places and helping uplift your collective consciousness, but there are plenty of other things you can use this light for. When any soul is creative, they tap into a deeper aspect of their consciousness, lighter or darker depending on what they intend to create. Those who are inclined to expressing the light will channel higher facets of their consciousness when they're creative, and this is partially why we say you can funnel your light through any creative project. The real heroes, as many of your spiritual teachers have called them, are those among you who can funnel their light through creative projects and still have plenty to spare for the more direct light work, the sending of love to conflicted areas of your world and knotted up aspects of your collective consciousness. Your infinity goes deeper than we could hope to express, and as you continue to traverse the dimensions, your understanding of this infinity will grow as your vibration rises and you're introduced to a plethora of inner revelations that'll completely change the manner in which you viewed your reality. Your inner light is intended to be used for a wealth of creative purposes, and whether you stick to one creative venture or adopt multiple, your light can be used for each of them without difficulty. We'll always encourage you to understand how capable you are of achieving the miracles you've convinced yourselves are impossible, and beyond the shallow, surface perceptions so much of your society is still bound to, an uncountable number of higher realms exist that, if glimpsed by humanity, could transform your perception. A lot needs done before you can connect with spirit purely and glimpse the resulting etheric wonders, and this is yet another reason we encourage you to act on your inner creativity. The harder the conscious public works, the more humanity's vibration will naturally rise, and the more you'll naturally get done. Your jobs don't entail making humanity aware of the concepts you've come to empower. They entail using those ideas and the light that comes with them to help raise humanity's vibration. Yes, you can be active in raising awareness of the ideas that resonate with you, but from our perspective, it's more important for those ideas to empower you to live the divinely inspired lifestyles that'll raise humanity's vibration more than anything. Expressing unconditional love. Regardless of what you believe, if you can live in love and express this love and gentleness to everyone around you unconditionally, you'll raise the collective vibration more than anyone who advocates certain beliefs or teachings that are related to spirituality or the higher realms. Spreading awareness of these concepts is certainly necessary, because every soul needs some type of belief to justify and expand on the things they know and can feel within. Your beliefs help you attune to the divine in a purer way and use such attunement to help everyone around you become aware, but the inner light they help to thrive is far more valuable than the beliefs themselves. Use your inner light to uplift humanity, and you'll find that your service is as pure and potent as your vibration is beginning to become. As long as your intent is pure and your opening and expanding hearts are in the right place, you'll find in the end that your work was more than valuable and needed for humanity's evolution. Despite the extent to which much of your society is still rooted in darkness and pure self-service, humanity is destined to ascend into the fifth dimension as an aspect of the overall universal ascension taking place. As we've said in the past, humanity's ascension will be a stepping stone to those of various other planets, which will eventually result in the ascension of the universe. Our scribe is asking if the Earth's ascension will set off a domino effect of ascensions on other planets, which would lead to the universal ascension, and this is partially correct. We say partially because the idea being presented is one of continuous, linear ascensions of various planets, which would take place directly after the Earth's. In truth, every planet that's evolving has been working on their ascension for quite a long amount of any soul's concept of time, and these ascensions won't happen in a direct, linear fashion right after the Earth's. Rather, Earth's ascension will provide a much-needed energetic boost for various other planets and civilizations, and the planets who've been planning and coordinating their ascensions for a long time will use this boost to complete their ascensions at whatever pace works for them, affecting even more planets' abilities to ascend in the process. If it's to be seen as a domino effect, we'd call it an energetic domino effect. The energy that'll result from the Earth's and plenty of other planets' ascensions will be partially responsible for the successful evolution of every planet in this wondrous universe, and when you're back in the higher realms, you might take on plentiful other missions that relate to the universal ascension. Even though many of you don't know it right now, one of your aims in incarnating on the Earth was to assist in the universal ascension. Given that you're part of the light forces who've been working for an uncountable amount of time on helping all of creation ascend, it was known by many of you before coming to Earth that your planet's ascension would kickstart that of the universe, and this is partially why many of you chose to incarnate there. The greatest determiner of progress. Of course, another reason you incarnated is to help your planet's people find the light and ascend, and we'll make our final expressions for this communication with the usual appreciation for your immense, selfless efforts so far. Even those among you who don't choose to directly contribute to humanity's evolution are still contributing immensely by simply existing on your Earth, and there are souls on your world who are completely unaware of spirit or the higher vibrations, and yet, they anchor and radiate a massive amount of light for all of humanity to benefit from. This is because they and plenty of others choose to orient to love and kindness without understanding the greater mechanics of it all at their surface. And we'll reiterate that how you act is the greatest determiner of the progress that's made on your world stage. Your actions are far more important than we could hope to express, and in time, all of humanity will realize this and seek to mend the twisted and distorted actions that have delivered you to your current situation. Your society has reached the brink of collapse plenty of times in the past, but you're far too supported by the company of heaven for a devastating social collapse to happen this time around. Certain economic collapses may be necessary, but you'll find that a much more lighted and powerful system was waiting in the wings, which will take humanity's needs into account instead of the wants of a small percentage of your population. With an open and loving heart, you'll be able to take any changes in stride knowing that they were all worth it for your greater growth and development, and will forever encourage you to keep strong in the face of temptation to feed the old world and drag humanity's vibration down as a result. You're far too strong to lend your energies to the lower vibrations or the lower thought forms that come with them any longer, and if you find that you're under the influence of one of these thought forms, know that you can blast pure love their way and see to it that they leave your space for good. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. cultureofawareness.com